Hi guys, Harry Bennett from Rugby United New York here. Sitting with Fussy, our centre midfielder. Just talking around mental health, May being Mental Health Awareness Month. MLR is putting a campaign for the entire month around mental fitness. So I've got a couple questions here for Fuss that we're just going to go through, see how his mental health scratches up as a professional rugby player. So Fuss, good to have you here, mate.
It's awesome to be here.
So first question, how do you define being fit both physically and mentally?
I guess as rugby players, obviously we lift in the gym, we're training on the field, so that kind of takes care of itself. That's our job basically, to maintain our physical fitness, and we probably put a lot of effort into that, and a lot of the time throughout the week is invested in that. Mentally, for me personally, I like to just shut off a lot from rugby. For example, I did a bit of study. I was able to get my degree, and I know a lot of the other boys have other ways they stimulate their mind. You know, they've got other jobs they can focus on. So I think it's just important that you're able to switch off from rugby once you leave the training field or your facility, and find something that challenges you mentally, and yeah.
So you almost talk about having balance and something that's taking your mind off rugby when you switch off and get off the paddock.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not completely switching off and just being a potato on the couch. You still want something that stimulates your mind and keeps you thinking, but completely different to rugby.
So D, you obviously train pretty hard on the pitch. Maybe give me some examples of how, away from training, you keep fit both mentally and physically.
Yeah, I think there's a few different ways. There's some guys who really like to focus on the game and prep straight before a game. You sit in your locker room and you kind of visualize things. There's some guys who wake up early in the mornings and they maybe have a 10-minute quiet time, listen to relaxing music, and they're trying to refocus that way. I think it's just finding the balance. What works for you as a person doesn't maybe work for someone else. So in a season that's as long as it goes here for rugby, you got to find what works for you best, and then what brings the best out of you for the weekend's game.
Brad Tuck here from the Seattle Seals, and with my buddy.
Yeah, Ross Nielsen of Seattle Seawolves. Alright, Brado, how do you define being fit both physically and mentally?
I think physically is an easy one for most of us. It's measurable, so it's pretty easy to know when you're physically fit, and you can tell. Mentally, it can be a bit more challenging, especially because things can change week to week. But for me, I think it's having a process and a routine that I go through each week, building up to the game, starting obviously like knowing what's coming, being aware of the next team, watching the film, and then making a plan, and how does that affect what I'm going to have to do on the field. I think if I've got those boxes ticked, then come game time, I know that physically I'm ready to go, and just try to approach it that way, mate.